because I know right now there's no use to the radio in DayZ mod, so it'll be really interesting to see all the different aspects it puts into the game with communication and maybe even giving away your position.
Yes.
It'll be
Yeah.
so
You
cool.
know, look, the yeah, like the cat's kind of out of the bag with one of our programmers, Jurka, doing this change to the inventory system. It means that we can attach attributes. Anyone who scripts and makes missions for armor will realize the profound nature of this change. Is that suddenly everything becomes possible. Your weapon is an object. You can attach variables to it. We can say whether it's got cholera, we can say who the original owner was, we can say how many people who has touched it. This can all be synchronized to the database. It's
God,
all
wow.
very good.
That is
So
really complex.
yeah, and like a lot of the stuff isn't necessarily going to be there right when we start, but it means that every Friday, or well no, we've already decided Friday updates to the game are probably a bad idea. Let's say every Monday or Tuesday, whenever we do the regular updates once it's out, we can be introducing crazy stuff, just really good stuff, because the architecture is so superbly built.
Wow. Um, what about maps then? Because right now, if you were to put a mark on a map, anyone in the server can see where your mark is because it's a universal map. Will there be, like I know you've mentioned a lot already with leaving letters or notes or even books throughout the server that are unique because you've put your mark on them. Will maps now be individual to the player?
Um, we've got some ideas for maps, but I'm a little bit reticent about talking about them
Okay.
because are pretty. I don't think anyone's ever really done what we're considering doing,
Oh.
and I wouldn't want another game to pick it up.
Yep, fair
So that
enough.
one's going to have to be a surprise.
Yep, fair enough. Keep it under wraps. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think by now with the number of viewers you've got there may be plants in there.
Yeah. there could
I know.
You never know. Yeah, best to keep things safe. Keep it
That's
secret,
right,
keep
the
it safe.
Canadians. You can't trust the Canadians.
Yeah, we're all crazy.
You know, I'm a big fan of Trailer Park Boys. Love that
Oh,
show.
really? Oh no. We do this in my stream actually. The J Rock. You know J Rock.
Yeah, I know J-Rock.
You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, it's just really good humor to me. Like, I just think it's a brilliant show.
I've just exposed Chris to it. He's never even heard of the show before, so now he's a little addicted. And bubbles. Oh god. Okay, well, yeah, besides getting off on tangents about Canadian random culture, now everybody's like, yeah, Trailer Park Boys forever. Um, well, you know what? I just kind of want to move away. Just until people come in with more DayZ questions, I'd like to just quickly ask you, besides Space Station 13, is there anything else, and obviously preparing for Everest, is there anything else that you're spending your small amount of spare time with right now that you're that you're really excited about?
Matt, what? Did you hear that question? Oh,
No.
he's playing. What are you playing? Don't Starve. Matt's playing Don't
Oh, he
Starve.
is. Good for him. Good boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about Kerbal Space Program, but I haven't been getting much into it. Like lately because I've just been so busy. And I really like Kerbal Space Program a lot. We know Philippe, the designer, Harvester, is his handle. So we know him. Fantastic game. I really would recommend people getting out there and grabbing a copy. I can't remember how much it is, but it's like $20 US. Awesome. I also have played a bit in the past of Prison Architect, and every morning when I get to work, I check their wiki to see if there's been a new update. But yeah, you know, I really haven't been doing much else. I should be doing a lot more training for Everest, but I haven't really had the time.
What
Yeah.
kind of, but first, before I get into talking about Everest, I'll just let you know that Chris just discovered Prison Architect 2 days ago, and he's lost his marbles. That's all he's doing with his spare time right now. He's really excited. He's talking to the devs about it. Oh my god. All he does is tell me, look at my screen, look at the little men running around on my screen with their little bum cracks in the shower. Good lord.
Yeah. It's look, I really like that style of games. I'm pretty excited that that stuff's coming up, and yeah, I'm really glad that I'm sticking to the Everest thing because obviously the timing now ends up being very bad, but it's literally written into my contract. So it's happening, and I'm going to it. And actually, I'm thinking of doing some interviews, and maybe I might only do the interviews with streamers while I'm at base camp. It's very expensive to stream
Oh my god.
because I have to do it through satellite with Skype. So I haven't decided how I'll choose
That is so cool. That
how
is.
to do that.
Well, I don't know how many stream interviews that you can go for, but if you've got so many to choose from and you can only get in a few, you should do some kind of raffle or something like that.
True. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't like to ignore necessarily the traditional media too much, so I might try and do one with a side. Well, I don't know. Streamers is kind of where DayZ come from, so naturally, you know, I like getting in and watching the streams. I didn't realise though that people can actually see who's viewing a stream. Because I entered a stream the other day and I didn't realise, and suddenly someone recognised the username. So that was. I might actually create an anonymous username and just...
Noob mistake.
I don't know whether Twitch get angry if you make 2 accounts.
No, you're fine. Actually, it seems like Twitch seemed to encourage that because you can ban someone if they're being inappropriate from your chat, but all they have to do is make another account, which takes about 2 minutes before they can come back in. Yeah. So right now, Twitch needs to do a lot of improvements as well. You know.
They do, but I like it, and I think that, like when I went to E3 last year, it was a bit of a mixed event for me because that was right when DayZ started to become big business.
Right.
And I think back then we only had 300,000 users. So I kind of saw a little bit of the bad side of the industry when I was there, or the, you know, potentially darker side. So for me, what I think is going to be cool is the rise of streamers, the rise of user content. And I think that there's, you know, movies obviously have their celebrity stars. I think it's quite cool that we're getting kind of, you know, maybe the game developers are more like directors. So you have your famous directors, right? But in terms of the stars are often the streamers. I think that's
that's so cool.
I think that's kind of cool. And not just streamers, also YouTubers as well. Like, you know, I kind of see them as similar, like theatre and movies, you know.
Right. Like they're sort of characters in a production that...
Yeah.
And yeah, you're like the producer who sort of facilitates their movie in a way. Because I mean, let's face it, a lot of those YouTube movie or videos are essentially movies that people watch. I cannot tell you time and time again how many people I've seen comment on YouTube videos or come into Twitch streams and say that they love the YouTube videos because it's replaced their television. They don't even waste time with cable anymore because they have all of this great content that they can watch. And even if you can't make it to a live Twitch stream, there's always the video on demand that you can go through the back catalog of every streamer and watch their previous content.
And look, that's why I enjoy playing video games with Bikeman so much.
Right.
Dana.
Yeah.
Dana.
You always giggle at his name, don't you?
I do. Dana Scully. Like I like making fun of him, but you know, I just think he's so naturally funny. And we were playing Space Station 13 at my apartment when Survivor Games was on, and I have a big screen TV, and I put Survivor Games up through Twitch on my big screen TV, and I guess it was at that point it really struck home to me just how. Because it felt to me like I was watching a rugby game in New Zealand or watching the Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
You know, a whole bunch of us come round to my house. We were sitting down, we were listening to the pre-match coverage and the hype happening with it, and we weren't doing it and, like, you know, watching it on the computer or whatever. It was kind of a social thing as well. So I think that is really exciting.
It's so cool. That again, like that personally hits home for me simply because I started off as simply being a fan of this game, a fan of this mod, and through that, my life has become something completely different because of the accessibility of Twitch streams and because of YouTube, and it's such a cool like new aspect to gaming and to the community, and I wonder sometimes just how big this game would be, or how big many games now would be, if we didn't have the channels that we do with Twitch and with YouTube. So many indie games, I wonder if they would just flounder and you'd never see them really get the ground that they tend to get. Like Terraria, for example, or Binding of Isaac. Like, these are games that became big because so many people streamed them. And I just wonder what the potential is there for the
Yeah,
future.
exactly. And that's why I think that, DayZ has some real potential there. But I think one thing I really like about DayZ is it's created this cottage industry around itself. That we know people who have made a lot of money from hosting DayZ service, enough to quit their jobs and do it full time. And like YouTube streamers, Matt? Yeah. And stuff like that. So some people have actually, and I think this cottage industry is really important. A similar thing happened with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It created this industry around itself that propelled itself forward. So we want to push that, and that is one of the reasons for us. We don't want to get into the business of managing servers and that. We want to give that out to the community and that kind of stuff. So I think that that whole cottage industry, same with streamers, same with YouTube content creators. We do want to try and build in some features to help with that. But I think the biggest one is going to be our focus on immersion in terms of removing UI. There is no UI. You want to know how many rounds are in your weapon? Well, you're going to have to take out the mag and check, or you're going to have to count.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like if you can remember how many was in your magazine at the very beginning, and then how many rounds you've shot. Well, if you can do all the math in your head at a moment's notice, then you know how many rounds you have left. That's so cool.
Yeah. And, it helps with performance as well, all these kinds of things. So I think it all just feeds into itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. Man.
Someone says, if only he'd said clip.
Yeah, that's something that's something we always joke about. Chris likes to get on everybody for saying clip instead of magazine. And he actually...
I was an Army... Actually, I think I'm technically still an Army officer. I haven't received my discharge yet.
Well, then you're still active, technically.
That's right.
Yeah. And Chris Sacriel actually is one of the people that did manage to change his profession because of the popularity of DayZ and the impact it had on him. He was actually due for redundancy at his work, and he managed to find a new venture, I guess, and stay stable because of DayZ, because of what DayZ is, and the community that's grown up around it, and how people just don't... Everybody just wants to come and watch Twitch streams every single night, and no one seems to get tired of it, and that's great, and it just keeps growing. So many people now have an entire new profession, not just server administrators, but also, like you were saying, streamers and YouTubers. They get this opportunity now to be something different, to be, I guess, to sort of have a dream job in a way that you could enjoy what you do so much. And yeah.
And like I look at games of mine that I'm really a big fan of. So let's take, for example, Open Transport
Tycoon Deluxe. Yeah.
Open TTD. Need to have another game of that soon, Matt, don't we? But that is a fantastic game. Now that is still alive. However long after Chris, what's his name? God, I've forgotten it. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
No, the guy who made it originally.
Oh, yes, the developer. Yeah.
Made it. So, and it's survived, and I love that. So that's why with DayZ, instead of having GameSpy Tech, I don't want to poop on GameSpy, the media outlet, GameSpy Tech. So I've never been a big fan of theirs, and I'm not a big fan of theirs now. So DayZ does not support GameSpy Tech at all.
Okay.
There's no GameSpy Tech in it. So we use Steam's server browsing system. Now, we can't get, it's called, here we go, geek out warning again. So we can't use their method of routing through proxies and stuff like that. So that is a little bit of a problem. It means that setting up a DayZ server, you're going to have to port forward your routers and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, it's a huge win for us. I think it gives the product a lot more longevity. So initially when we release, there will be one central hive. Once we've got that central hive working beautifully, we will allow other hives to pop up, just like it is now. And that will mean, in my eyes, that DayZ will survive the death of me, the death of the company, the death of whatever. And that's a good thing.
In a way, it's post-apocalyptic.
Way it is post-apocalyptic.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I read a really good book called Adapt, written by this British economist quite recently,